guys, I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So this was supposed to go up yesterday, but Thursday I ended up not having enough time to finish it, to be honest. So yesterday I was out celebrating my birthday and I just decided not to work all day. So I postponed this video for today, but hopefully that is okay anyways. I do plan on building something for tomorrow as well, and I do realize that I've not done a lot of videos this week, but honestly, it's just been really busy. Or I've been really busy, so hopefully that's understandable, but still planning on doing something very requested for tomorrow, by the way. And also, if you're curious about this, because I did get some questions about it overnight, so the shell tour, I'll do that next week. I will be recording it not today, but I think on Monday or maybe Tuesday, and then it'll probably be up like Thursday or Friday or something like that. So I'll be doing the shell tours next week, that is a promise, and we're gonna start the next shell challenge, which will probably be a tiny house or a micro home. I'm not really sure which one to go with, but let me know what you think. Do you want to do, would you rather do a tiny house or a micro home? And I'll be doing the shell even though I feel like the shell will probably look like a lot of my other tiny houses, so very simple, of course very small, but I don't know, let me know what you think. So now that that's over with, we can talk about today's build. So this was requested as well. Someone asked if I could do a luxurious home or a luxurious tiny house that was also spacious. So I was like, how do you make a spacious tiny house? Everything is so small, everything has to be crammed together. So basically, I decided to follow the new guidelines that we have. So we have the micro home, which can be up to 32 tiles. We have the tiny home, which can be up to 64. And then we have the small home, which can be up to 100 tiles. So I decided to go for a tier 2 size. So today's house is 63 tiles, I think. It's either 64 or 63. I can't really see it right now because my screen is way too small. The playback screen is way too small, but you can see it at the top of the screen right now. So we're basically maxing out the tiny house. I definitely looked at this house afterwards and I didn't really feel like it was the size of a tiny house. Like the bigger tiny houses that we can now make don't look like tiny houses to me anymore. They're definitely a little bit bigger than the normal tiny houses that I would build, but I'm okay with it. It's nice to have these restrictions now. It's nice to have guidelines too, so I'm completely okay with that. So I just, I basically decided to sort of max out the tiny home tiles and make it for only 2 sims. So you could either have a single sim live here or a couple. There's a double bed and your sims will have access to both of the sides of the double bed. So it could be for either 1 or 2 sims. It's very spacious, very luxurious. They have everything they should need for gameplay and also a pool and a backyard kitchen or garden kitchen, whatever you call that. The backyard is pretty nice for this kind of house, I think, so yeah, I hope you guys like it. So I think I started building on a 20 by 15 in the more deserty area of Oasis Springs, so that is the upper east area of Oasis Springs, that neighborhood. I've built a lot of trailers in that area just because I feel like the trailers look really good in the desert, like in the sand for some reason. But for this house, once I started doing the exterior properly, it kind of hit me that I didn't feel like the sort of landscaping that I'd have to do in this sort of deserty area, I didn't feel like that landscaping would fit this sort of house. So I actually ended up moving the house to the same lot that we were building on either Thursday or Wednesday. I think possibly Wednesday. So the single mom micro home, we're building on the same lot at the end of this video, but just right now we're still in this sort of sandy neighborhood, whatever. So I did try to build this in some other place, but I ended up moving it to the grassy area anyways, so hopefully that is okay though. There should be, actually no, I don't really remember. Is there another 20 by 15 in that area? I don't actually think so. I think, because I ended up taking the screenshots on a 30 by 20 on the other side of the road because the lighting on the 20 by 15 sucked big time. Like it was just shady and I did not like it, so I ended up moving it for the screenshots. So if the lot looks a little bit bigger once you get to the end of the video and you see the bird view or whatever you call that photo of the floor plan, it's because it's actually taken on a 30 by 20, just so you know. I sometimes do that just because I like when the lighting is nice for thumbnails. I think that's very common for us YouTubers. We want the thumbnails to look good, so we need proper lighting. And it just wasn't looking good on the 20x15, but hopefully that is okay anyways. So by now we've gotten to the living room and the kitchen is basically done. I might go back and add a little bit more clutter, but I honestly don't remember. I decided to, for this house, I decided to add some, what's it called? Laundry machines, because I haven't done that for the past couple of tiny houses. I did get some questions about it, but honestly, if I have to choose between, I don't know, when you're building tiny houses, especially micro houses, I don't really tend to prioritize laundry machines because, first of all, I don't like to build or like to play with laundry. I think laundry is really boring in real life, so I don't really like to do it in The Sims. So sometimes if I have to prioritize laundry over something else like a bookcase, I'll choose the bookcase, just so you know. But you can always delete a bookcase and make room for laundry machines if you want to. And also in the micro home, I made a 2-tile bathroom, so there was no way to put the laundry machines in there, and the kitchen was super small as well. Couldn't really do anything different there either to make room for the laundry machines, but we are building a luxurious tiny home today, so I decided to add the machines this time. So for those of you who like to play with laundry, you can do that in this house, just so you know. But yeah, it's often that when I build tiny houses that I just down prioritize laundry machines just because they take up so much space too, like they're huge. And I prefer to put them in the bathroom when it comes to either apartments or tiny houses, and because the kitchens are always so small that I don't really feel like I can fit them in there. And when I build tiny houses, I usually don't have hallways either, which is another place where I usually put laundry machines. So I just forget all about them. I just choose not to bring them into the house. But for this one, there are laundry machines, just so you know, and I've now been talking about it for like 1.5 minutes. But anyways, moving on. I really love the color combination on the couch, like the pillows. It's a nice contrast with the sort of muted blue, and then you have this kind of more bright yellow. I really love that. That's the kind of color combination I'm trying to go for in my living room, except I don't want it to be super colorful because I like to keep everything in black and white. I just want a little bit of color here and there. So we're talking like one pillow and one painting, very small painting even, or picture, whatever you want to call that. There's a vase on my dining table that's blue, but other than that, everything is just white, black, and gray. So, but I do love that color combination. It's a very nice color combination. So, and in here we have the bedroom. So I was actually surprised how much I could fit into this bedroom because it's only a 4x4. And technically, if you don't use move objects on, you can only fit a double bed in here. You wouldn't be able to fit in a dresser or if you don't use alt, you might be able to if you do use alt. I'm not actually sure. Maybe I should do a challenge like that at some point. Don't use move objects on. Actually, I've been told to do the tiny house challenge, which, as far as I know, because I haven't really read up on the the rules for that challenge, but as far as I know, you have a 12,000 budget. And you have to build a tiny house, of course. It could either be a micro home, but it could also be a tiny house. And you're not allowed to use move objects on. So is that what the rules are? Because I might do that. If you guys want to see it, let me know. And also, if there are other things to the rules, let me know too, because I would love to know. I'd love to prepare myself mentally before going into that sort of challenge. I've never actually built anything without move objects on because it just frustrates me so much that you can't put furniture next to each other. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I know that it's mostly used to combine items and, I don't know, other stuff, but even putting a couch next to another couch, you still have to sort of not put them too close together. Like, even if they're really far apart, sometimes it'll still say you can't do that. So I don't know. I don't really remember what the restrictions are anymore, but let me know if you want to see that challenge. I'll do my best and probably fail, but still, I'll do my best. That's all that counts, so let me know. Also, by the way, for some reason, this ended up taking me 5 hours to do. I didn't record for 5 hours, so when I say that I've been building for 5 hours, I've been sitting here pausing and you know, building and pausing and building and pausing for 5 hours. I don't actually record for 5 hours straight. That's a lot of video to edit out, and I'm not here for that. So when I say, for example, if I'm building a 40 by 30, I'll end up with like 5 hours of footage, but I'll probably be recording for like 10 or 12 hours or something because I'm a really slow builder. I'm very indecisive. So for this house, for some reason, a tiny house, it took me 5 hours, which is just ridiculous. But I could not manage, like, I could not figure out what to do with the color scheme. I swear, it took me so long. It's stupid because, like, it's such a simple color scheme. I cut most of it out, as you can probably see. Just because I tried different colors, and I also tried black and white because I felt like if the interior is so black and white, like shouldn't the exterior also be black and white? But it's not, I need some color on the exterior, otherwise it just looks boring to me. There needs to be some sort of eye-catching color or something, because I don't know. It's weird like that. I don't know why it works like that, but it does. So I struggled with that a little bit. I figured it out at the end. I think we're gonna go for this sort of muted brown for the roofing here, and then the rest of the house is both a little bit black, but also white, mainly white, which I like for Oasis Springs for some reason. I like the sort of, I don't know, I like white walls with the desert for some reason. I don't really know why, but I do. Also, if you're curious about the roofing here, I basically just, like, you have to pull the eave or eaves out from the roof and hold down shift at the same time, so you only pull one side. Like, you can extend the eaves if you hold down shift. You'll extend just one side, but if you don't hold down shift, you'll extend both sides, and you don't use the arrow, you use the small arrow, not the big one. I don't really know. How do you explain that? Because they're both technically arrows. I don't really know. Let me know if you want to see like a tutorial on roofing tricks. I could do something like that. There's one thing here, I don't know if you just noticed, but since we got the pillar update, you can't expand them past, like if they're close to the house or on the house. So usually I use pillars or columns for accents on my builds, but if you place them on the house, you can't actually expand them past the first floor. And that meant I couldn't put any accents on the left side of the house here, because then I would have to put in a wall trim or something, because I couldn't raise up the column with the 9 key, but I also couldn't extend it, or whatever you call that. I couldn't make the column taller. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but they changed that with the column update, and it's been bugging me a little bit ever since. I do love extended columns though. You can see I'm using it here with the roofing as well, but it would be nice to be able to extend the columns that are kind of placed on the house, so on the corners of the house, or I don't know, wherever else you place columns. I usually just place them on the corners just to add this accent. You can see right here in front of you right now. And also this landscaping, by the way, would be impossible to do without move objects on. So that is one thing I'm a little bit scared to do when it comes to that tiny house challenge, but still, let me know if that's something you want to see. I'll definitely take it into consideration, or however you say that. Also, I did go a little bit overboard with the landscaping here at first, but then I went back and actually changed it because I felt like it was a little bit too... There were a little bit too many flowers maybe or something. I couldn't really pinpoint what it was, but it was too much somehow. So I went back and changed it. So it looks a little bit more toned down later on, just so you know. I started out using a lot of the cacti that we got with Strangerville, the ones that were kind of unlocked later on. So you have to use show hidden objects to actually be able to see them in the catalog, but they are from Strangerville. They come with Strangerville, but they often have flowers on them. So I think I ended up swapping out some of those ones with the base game ones, and I probably also deleted some of the actual flowers that I used from Romantic Garden Stuff pack. By the way, if you like landscaping, that pack is really good for landscaping. I want to say, at least, I think it's very underrated when it comes to landscaping because I use those flowers all the time. Honestly, I don't really think I'd be able to do like flowery landscaping without that pack because it's just, there are so many nice flowers in that pack. So there's also a couple of other items like a bench, there's a couple of statues, and some other Greek looking stuff. Actually, it's kind of cute, but I don't really use that stuff a lot. There's also a fountain, I think, a rather big one even. and probably a wedding arch as well. I don't really remember, but the flowers though, I use the flowers all the time. So as you can see here, I'm kind of going for my go-to sort of landscaping when it comes to Oasis Springs. So also when it comes to more contemporary looking houses, even though today we are building a modern house, it's a mid-century modern house if you can't see that. So it's not a contemporary house, but still I like this more structured kind of landscaping when it comes to modern and also contemporary houses, just because I feel like it fits the house a little bit better, at least my houses. So yeah, when it comes to more traditional houses, I tend to go a little bit crazy with the landscaping, but for these kinds of houses, I like to make it a little bit more structured. So I'm also using these hedges. I think they are base game actually, and the fencing is one that I barely ever use on the exterior because I feel like it doesn't really fit the exterior, or like it doesn't look like a fence you'd see outside for some reason, but today I used it. It's from Get to Work. And other than that, we're just doing a little bit more landscaping, I think, and then we're moving on to the backyard. So the outdoors kitchen, the lounge area, and also the pool. By the way, let me know what other tiny houses you want to see. I still have a community tab post, by the way, so I will be going through some of those during next week, but I'll also be doing some more, I want to say normal sized houses, but like regular houses that aren't tiny houses over the next week, like maybe like 1 or 2 or so, and then of course the shell tour. But I'll still be doing some tiny houses because I love tiny houses. You guys know this, so we're not over tiny houses just yet. And yeah, anyways, for the backyard here, we are doing the outdoors kitchen. I did try to fit in some of these plant pots because I felt like it would be fun for the Sims to be able to do some landscaping, but some planting outside. I don't really know, some gardening outside, but I couldn't really fit them in. Plus I felt like it was a little bit too rustic to place it out here. It was a little bit too, it's not polished enough. I don't know how else to say it. So I decided to scrap that idea, but they should have plenty of stuff to do outside. They have both a nice lounge area. I combined a couch from Perfect Patio with an ottoman from Perfect Patio, and then over here this ottoman is from Spa Day. I just placed some magazines on it, so it kind of looks like they could sit there and like grab a magazine and just read or something if they want to do that. I don't think the magazines work like a bookcase, by the way. I do know that some of the book clutter does work like bookcases now. They added that in the latest update, but I think the magazines are still just clutter, which is completely fine because they're not really books. Like, why would you be able to pick a book from that magazine pile or whatever? So, but still, it kind of looks like they could sit over there in the ottoman and just casually read a magazine or something, get updated on the fashion world or something. I don't really know. Also, let me know what kind of careers you think the Sims living in this house have, because it's always fun to hear you guys out when it comes to like imagining the Sims living in my houses. I like that you all have different visions for them, so definitely let me know. But other than that, I think we are about done. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye! You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. I want to be silly, baby, dance the night away. I'll kick my shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free, and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. So much better.